full-time, that's the deputy desk log. On the MD side, I'm the deputy G4. So that's the first thing I want to get across is those are one and the same. And people say, we already know that. Well, some of the MD guys, as an MDer, you may not know that during the week we're called the deputy chief of staff or logistics, and on drill weekend with the G4. And it's pretty much the same staff. There's a few MDers that are mixed in that are just traditional service members. But, so that's the first thing I want to tell you is if you're desk log and G4, it's all the same. Okay? So these first few slides, most of you will never use them. But these are points of contact on the full-time side for the desk log. You see my contact information up there, and before I move on, the desk log is Colonel Price. Jason Price, he is also the G4. So he is both the full-time logistics officer for the state, and he is the MD, okay? But you see my point of contact up there. The so what of these first few slides are simply this. If you need anything from us, you can call us directly. However, most of you will never call us for a reason because there are layers in between us and you, right? But if for some reason you need something, you're more than welcome to reach out to anybody in this slide deck, okay? But I would encourage you not to go around your battalion, brigade, all the way to us, and make sure you follow your chain of command there, okay? So I'm just going to go through these. Well, I tell you what, you see here, Command Logistics Property Officer, that is Mr. Gibson. He's responsible for making sure you have what you want, okay? You see here, Plans and Policy. You'll probably never have contact with Colonel Depta. You see we have a budget officer or a budget, you'll see there Ms. Megan AG. A SLIMS officer. Today you will hear from our state movement control officer who is Major Jones. He'll talk to you about your command deployment program, okay? Under the state logistics management officer today, you will hear not from Colonel Bray, but you will hear from Major AJ Strang regarding your CSDP program. There's some other POCs, food service. That would definitely be in your lane as a commander, right? Feeding your troops on an IDT, at AT, okay? So you may not ever have direct contact with CW2 Snyder. I'm sorry, that's wrong. That should be CW2 Sunbury. She was recently married. We've got to get that updated. However, you need to know we do have that point of contact there, okay? That's really not that important to you. SASMO, some of you on your info will have VSATs and KC terminals. You will also have GCS Army computers. Okay, all of that goes through the SASMO for updating, for issue, for life cycle replacement. All of that goes through the SASMO. The SMM, responsible for your CMDP, your maintenance program, okay? One of your very own here, First Sergeant Jackson. He is a full-timer with us. He will be briefing that portion today, right? So even though you may not ever have contact with any of these people, these programs do affect you. CSDP, CDDP, CMDP, and the food service, okay? More SMS. Okay, so before we move in, I think this is you, right, AJ? No, this. All right. I just want to be up front with you here. I don't really want to talk these slides. Here's what I want to tell you. As a first sergeant and company commander, what do you really need to know about logistics? Okay, because you're about to hear a whole bunch of stuff, right? Some of it you'll never see again, right? Your supply sergeant, that's your first line of logistics support, right? So get to know your supply sergeant, okay? this is what I want to tell you about your supply sergeants. On the full-time side, the highest turnover rate of any position, okay? And I don't, the numbers are all jumbled up in my head, but they are significant, okay? The turnover in supply sergeants, okay? Many of the supply sergeants that we are now hiring may not even be Yankee qualified. They may be hired as some other 92 and they're headed to a course later on, but when they arrive at your company, they're not even fully qualified, okay? That is a significant issue, I'm telling you, not for every unit, but for the guard, that is a significant issue. So when you get to your company, I would highly encourage you to get to know your supply sergeant, okay? Your supply sergeant will be involved in maintenance, food service, IDP lodging, OCIE, clothing. To me, it's the busiest job in the Alabama Army National Guard, okay? The supply sergeant, get to know your supply sergeant, right? From a logistics standpoint. The second POC you need to locate fairly quickly is who and where is your PBO, okay? They'll make certain, right? They'll make certain that you're not overstepping your bounds, okay? When it comes to property accountability, when it comes to what you can do and what you can't do, okay? So get to know your supply sergeant, get to know your PBO, okay? Your PBO may be a little harder because he or she may not be anywhere near you on drill weekends, okay? They may not even be in the building, all right? The third thing I want to tell you about logistics readiness is when you drive up on your compound, you can just look around and say, okay, that belongs to me, that belongs to me, that belongs to me. So make certain you manage your hand receipts because you cannot account for all of them, okay? I mean, you just can't, okay? You cannot account for all of them. All right, so get to know your supply sergeant, get to know your PBO. Understand that when you drive up, if you see it, it's yours, okay? So you gotta manage your sub-hand receipts, you gotta make certain you get that stuff off of your book, but you gotta make certain you know who signed for it, how often they've signed for it, if there's changes made. You gotta make certain you're doing those things, okay? Last thing I wanna tell you before I kinda go through some of these slides is simply this, okay? Being a leader, right, being a good leader, right, is gonna help you in all areas logistics. So what do I mean by that, right? Okay, so I come up for the SRP last month, and I'm talking to service members that are coming through. I'm not just here managing the SRP, I'm there actually doing showdowns, like laying stuff out with service members. So I see a young service member and I say, hey, do y'all go to the field? And he's like, yeah, we go to the field. I said, do y'all do PCCs and PCIs? Yes, sir, we do them. I said, well, what does your team leader or your supply sergeant tell you about all this crap you're missing? Well, they tell me, go buy it or go see the supply sergeant. Look, to me, that's the wrong answer. The right answer is that team leader should take that service member to the supply sergeant, okay? Guys, listen, I can't tell you how jacked up, right, most of the people who come through here on SRPs are when it comes to their OCIE record, okay? They don't understand the difference between OCIE and clothing, right? They don't understand what they're signing for, they're just signing, okay? So what am I really saying? You gotta take care of those truths, okay? And we're on the accountability of their OCIE and their clothing, we're doing a poor job. So are you really doing your PCCs and your PCIs? And are your squad leaders and your team leaders and your platoon sergeants and your platoon leaders, are they making certain that everybody's ready? Okay? So that is just really 4 things I wanted to stress to you, okay? Get your soldiers ready, all right? Understand it belongs to you. Get to know your PBO, to know your supply sergeant, okay? Your supply sergeant, supply sergeant, supply sergeant. Okay, with that said, all right, here's how we define readiness. I'm not gonna read this to you, right? I will point out the CUSR that has become a focal point, right? Making certain what you put on your, what's that C4? What's the C4 in CUSR? Yeah, commander, right? Would you put on your CUSR, which, oh, by the way, do you think the commander is the one putting stuff on the CUSR? No, it's your full-timers, right? It's your readiness CEO, right? It's your supply sergeant. What are they really putting on there? And does it really paint the picture that you want everybody to see, right? No, I'm not telling you to paint the rosy when it looks like a pile. I'm telling you to paint it the way it looks. So even though you're not going to be typing, many of you will not be typing the CUSR. Make sure you know what's going on with CUSR, okay? Yeah, we could talk about this forever. But let me tell you simply this. I've been in the Guard. I mean, like when I come off of the boat with Noah, I signed up for the Guard. That's how long I've been here, okay? I've been in the Guard for a long time. My first drill was January of 1990, okay? As long as I've been in the Guard, we've talked about PMCS, readiness, PMCS, OCIE. We have yet to send anybody on a deployment that wasn't ready, okay? We haven't, okay? But let me tell you what, we've wasted a lot of money getting people ready to go that could have simply been saved by being ready 12 months out of the year, right? That's easier said, I can say that, right? That's easier said than done, okay? I just want you to know, is the equipment of my soldiers and my organization fully mission capable, right? Monthly, not just when you go to CTC, not just when you go to Defender Europe, not just when you're deploying, but every time you show up, can you say, my equipment and my soldiers, we're fully mission capable? Hey, I got good news for you that is also bad news. That's your responsibility. I don't know what else to tell you, okay? You signed up for it. You're the commander. You're the first sergeant. Are you fully mission capable every time you show up? Every month you show up, can you say we are? Okay? I've already talked about most of this, but you'll hear more about it here in just a moment by all your discipline programs, okay? And oh, by the way, we have some great subject matter experts. We can maintain you, we can fix you, we can get you there, we can do all those things, right? We have the knowledge at the headquarters, we can help you get there, okay? These are the things we'll be talking about today. Command maintenance program, command supply program, and the command deployment program, okay? All right. Before I sit down, because I am not your subject matter expert, but I will tell you what I can do for you. If you keep my POC, right? You can call me anytime, all right? Most of the time I'll answer, but if I don't, I'll call you back, all right? I'll help you any way I can. I will put you in touch with whoever you need to get in touch with. It may be that I send you back to your battalion. It may be that I put you in touch with somebody in my office, okay? But if you call me, I'm going to help you, okay? I'm not your SME other than getting you in touch with the right person. But I assure you I can do that, right? I'm thankful for you, for all that you do, right? You have a tough job, especially if you're just a traditional guardsman, okay? The Guard is much bigger than 2 days a month and 14 days a year. It is much bigger than that, okay? So, while I don't really envy you, I do envy you because you are a commander. You are a first sergeant, and there's no greater enjoyment in the guard than really those two positions, okay? But I don't envy you because the guard has changed, and it is a much more monthly year, just the time it takes is much more intensive than when I was in your position, okay? It's just a different game, and there's no other way to paint that picture other than the guard is different, right? But you guys have a great opportunity, and no, you're not going to solve every problem. You're just not, right? So really, in 3 years, when you're done, give or take, all you can hope for is that you've made a little impact on your unit as a whole, and from my foxhole, that you've made a little impact on their logistics readiness, right? Because ultimately, that's what you're gonna be able to accomplish. Just a little impact, right? To make it better, okay? So, I'm thankful for you, I'm envious of you, but I'm really not, because I'm too old and too long in the tooth to be running your schedule. But good luck to you. I hope things work out great for you, that you have a great command, you have a great time in your first sergeant positions. And if you ever need me, my POC is on there. If you contact me, I will help you, I promise you. I'll be followed by Sergeant Jackson, and he will talk to you about maintenance. So Master Sergeant Jamie Jackson.